Alright YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today guys, we have finalized our Mannadium deck and this is what we have. So it's closely similar to the one that we used earlier for the stream. The only inclusion, well typically the exclusion with this deck is we remove maxis first and foremost. I just added more Mannadium cards or basically Mannadium supports for the deck. Namely, the Heart Monsters. So Heart Monsters are kind of necessary for the deck. Also, the field spell I used earlier were only 2 copies, so basically I needed a 3rd copy for that one. So I just dismantled some of the URs that I don't really need to craft me a 3rd copy. The field spell for the Calarium is quite necessary because this will gain you access to the Mannadium monster or the Vixen Starfrost that you'll need for your combo. Furthermore, the other field spells like the copy of Reichophobia adds you the Scarecrow monster, which is the Reichheart. Also the same stats with the Rayum Heart as well to gain access or to allow you to spell summon your level 2 Mannadium monsters, which is the Meek and the copy of Fearless. Furthermore, the copy of the Wraithsoth doesn't really allow you to gain access to a Starfrost, which is primarily my main idea of getting the other field spells. But the most important effect here is gaining access to the Fenrir, having the Fenrir on the field, and gaining access to the 1 copy of Reichheart that you'll need. So that's basically it. That's my main purpose there. And then furthermore, we are running 2 copies of Starfrost like what we had in our Omega video. The 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. I can't tell you how much this card actually helped me in going second for most of my runs or my games. The 1 copy of Reframing is your only trap card for the Mannadium. The 3 copies of Obsession just targets 1 monster, whether or not it is a Mannadium or not, as long as you can target the monster and pop it on the field. It's really insane, really good card, and it allows you to gain access to 1 field spell. Extra deck wise, we are running the 2 copies of your Astrolaud. The Astrolaud will allows you to pop 1 card. Another good card is the Tri-Edge Master. Now, I would recommend this one as a really good monster for a level 6 because Charge Warrior is a wind monster. This is a light monster. This would actually benefit you a lot if you're trying to summon a copy of Chaos Angel, which allows you also to gain access to its additional effects once summoned to the field with a specific attribute. If you don't have this copy, and if you want to lessen some of the UR copies in this Mannadium deck, just go for Charge Warrior. It still works the same way, allows you to draw 1 card. And then you have also a copy of Axel Synchron. The main purpose for me adding Axel Synchron is once you use the level 2, you can spell summon a level 2 tuner from your graveyard to your side of the field. The Bear on the Floor is a really good level 10 Synchro monster. The Bestial Dissipator is a really good card as well. Allows you to pop a card. Also, once per turn, you can target 1 Banished Light or Dark monster and special summon it to your side of the field. People are not really running this basically because 0 to 1 is the main copies that you typically need for the deck. But I really like this card if you're trying to go for an OTK and you have a lot of like synchros or tuners on the field. Basically what this card does is this card can attack a couple or a number of times depending on the number of tuners used to synchro summon this. Chaos Angel, really good level 10 as well. Then of course 2 copies of Lightheart, really good access to your field spell for the Reichophobia. 1 copy of Masquerena for your board. Cross Sheep, of course, spell summoning the Astrolaud 2 that link zone. 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 copy of Appaloosa, and the last copy of Access Code Talker. Now the Access Code Talker, you basically need this because majority of your cards here is targeted effects. The Access Code Talker is not a targeted effect. You can just destroy 1 card. So I think that's basically it. Your main deck and your extra deck, guys. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the outro, and this is the replays. Alright, ladies and gents, so here we are with the replays, and we got a pretty bad hand though. So we got 1 Starfrost, 1 Cold Wave, 1 Planet Wraithsoth, and 2 copies of Obsession. So not really the best of that. Luckily, we got the copy of Wraithsoth here that will allow us to gain more cards from the deck to the hand. So to start off, and luckily at this combo, I was not interrupted. So that's still really good though. But if ever we get maxed, we still have Cold Wave. So we go for Fenrir to the field from the Wraithsoth. We popped it with the Obsession, get a copy of the Calarium. Calarium will get us a copy of Rayum Heart. And since our Fenrir was popped, we can spell summon another copy that we just got. And then with that, we still have a normal summon. Normal summon our Rayum Heart, get a copy of our Meek. Meek will then be spell summoned to the field. And since we have the Starfrost, pop the Starfrost. or pop the Meek, and then spell summon the Meek, and of course use the effect of Calarium to special summon the copies to the field. So at this point on, there is a specific, this is what I really like picture everything else before I freestyle it. So yeah, once you got the Lightheart to the field, basically you switch into the Reichophobia, and then that's where you just settle with whatever board that you can actually put into the field, but basically have like an Appaloosa or a copy of Bar on the Floor on the field. But yeah, Lightheart gain access to the Reichophobia, use the Reichophobia so that our monster will be on the same attack and defense, and that's practically the main idea there, because if ever you draw into a copy of Fearless or Meek during your draw, you can just spell summon to the field because it will just be special summoned if you have a monster which has the same stats as the Heart monsters. So we got the copy of the Planet Reichophobia, get a copy of our Scarecrow Lightheart, and spell summon to the field, get a copy of Arrival, and draw one card. And go for Tri-Edge Master to draw one more card. So at this point, every draw or every card that we'll basically have will allow us to draw or gain access to more cards either on field or to the hand. So go for Axel Synchron, spell summon the level 2 from our graveyard, and with these level 2s, we can go for our Bishel Despader. Despader, since we don't have any monsters banished first, we need to banish cards, of course. Spell summon the Visa Starfrost from the Arrival, go for Bar on the Floor, and that's basically, we're just moving to more cards into the field here. So spell summon the right card to the field from our last Arrival, go for Cross Sheep, banish the cards, go for our Vicious Astrolaud, and since we summoned the Astrolaud to the zone where Cross Sheep is pointing, we can spell summon one monster from the graveyard for a fodder for an Appaloosa. And since we banished a card, spell summon the the Visa Starfrost, and then use them as materials for Masquerena. So there we go. From a really bad hand, we managed to get 3 monster negates, 1 Despader pop, and 1 copy of Bar on the Floor, which is an Omni negate with an interruption from the Masquerena. So that's still insanely good. With, of course, we draw into a copy of Cold by the Grave. Sometimes we draw into a copy of Cold by or Ash. Still really good. Still insane. But yeah, that is the board for you. So let's see what our opponent is doing. Oh, this is the Purrely and Sprite deck that I've managed to encounter. So summon the Purrely to the field, or Purrely Lily to the field. We negated with a copy of Appaloosa, and we banished a copy of Cerberus in the graveyard so that it won't be spell summoned to the field. Our guy is gonna spell summon another Pure Lily to the field, which is not bad, but typically just removing 1 card from his hand. And I think he just scooped here afterwards because he can't do anything else. There we go. So that is a really good board. That is our first game. Let's go for game number 2. Alright guys, so for our next game we have here, we're going up against Dragonlings here. So a really good tier 1 deck. But we really have like a really good hand here. So 1 copy of Calarium, 1 copy of Obsession, 1 Cold by the Grave, 1 copy of Riomart, and a copy of Reichhardt here. So our opponent is going first, of course. So let's just make him, or let's just watch him cook. So let's fast forward this. And then spell summon the Druid's Worm with 2 cards face down. I think the other one is Cold by the Grave, and the last one is, I forgot the last card on the top left. Nevertheless, 1 board breaker is what I really need, and that is Triple Tactics Talent. So basically, I forgot the effect of Boral End, where I cannot respond to its effect. So I could have just baited it out with the Reichhardt, but nevertheless, it's perfectly fine. Having to use the Riomart was kind of important, so I just really want him to use the Boral End effect here. So there we go. He's going to use the effect of Boral End to summon the Rocket Tracer from the graveyard. And at this point on, all I need to do is just take control of the Boral End. So that's basically it. So once that happened, use the effect of the Colarium, get a copy of the Meek, and I think this is the Beast. Yeah, the Beast. Get or tribute the Juice Worm. Now I don't want him to send another card from the field to the graveyard, so I might as well gonna remove the Juice Worm from the grave. But he still needs, or he can still pop one card on the field, which I think he only popped the field spell because he knows the effect of these cards here. So there we go. We removed the Juice Worm, but he still managed to pop the field spell. Nevertheless, it's perfectly fine. We can still get a field spell from the Obsession, but we can't activate it. Meek is going to be activated, but he'll use the effect of Called by the Grave. Luckily, that's the last interruption that he has, and we still have one red card on hand. And because we have the Obsession in the graveyard, we can just banish it to spell summon the red card from our hand. So at this point on, we go for Lightheart, and we still have Juice to go into more combos, and we still have the Boral End to attack every monster that he has on the board. Insanely good cards. I really like the Mannadium as long as you have the gas on hand. So that's game number 2. Let's go for our last game. Alright guys, so here we are with our last game, and we have one Meek, one red card, one Starfrost, one Obsession, and one copy of Calarium. So yeah, let's do a really good combo with this hand. We go for red card here. Now take note, I did not use the effect of red card to search for the arrival because I will need that one later along the line. And what I mean by that is I need to draw one card. So we special summon the Meek to the field, pop it with the Obsession, get a hold of the copy of the Calarium. Although we already have the Calarium here, but still perfectly fine. But we got Ash from the Meek. Still good. And since we already have like the Meek in the graveyard, all we need to do is search out a copy of Fearless from the Calarium, pop it with a Frost. Frost will then be spell summoned to the field, of course. Use the effect of the Calarium and then the Fearless, spell summon the 2 copies, one from the graveyard and one from the deck. And that's it. Use the effect of the red card, spell summon the Lightheart to the field, get a copy of the Reichophobia. Reichophobia will then gain access to the red card itself, and then we can use its effect. So that's basically saving the effect for the red card to draw one card, plus the arrival. So we got the triple tactics talent, and with that we can go for our synchro play. It's really up to you if you want to go for the crush shape first and then go for your synchros. It's really up to you. So at this point, I really want to check what deck our opponent is using, since we draw into a copy of the triple tactics. So we're dealing with Scareclaws here. So the most important one, or the most significant one here, is the Birth. So we just remove the Birth from his hand, and we still need to, or we can go for a combo here. It's still viable. It's still good. There we go. Go for Tri-Edge Master. Draw one card. We got a copy of Realm Heart. That's insanely good. Special summon the Realm Heart. Get a copy of our trap card here, and use the effect of Fearless to spell summon another copy from our deck. So Realm Heart, get a copy of the Reframing, and with that we go for Axel Synchron, spell summon a tuner from our graveyard to the field, and then go for Bestial Despater. There we go. So Despater on the field, and go for the 2 monsters, going for Cross Sheep. That's it. Banish the 2 cards, spell summon the Astral out to the field, to the zone the Cross Sheep is pointing to, spell summon the monster. Use the effect of Despater, spell summon our Visa Starfrost from our graveyard, so that we can still use the Visas on our next turn. Go for Appaloosa from the 4 monsters on the field, or 3 monsters on the field. So we have 1 Omni Negate, 3 negates for a monster, and 1 pop on the field with 1 copy of Reframing. I know he has a copy of what you call this? Harpy's Flare Duster though. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's gonna Harpies that. I'm just gonna use the effect of Reframing since it's gonna be destroyed. Might as well gonna save the copy of the field spell. There you go. He drew into a copy of Unicorn there, so that's kinda insane. I just wanted to chain the Reframing to spin back 3 cards. He's gonna use the effect. Use the effect of the Spader there to pop the card. But since it wasn't on his side that I shuffled back a card, he managed to get a copy of the Birth. Well, of course, Birth, we can just negate the activation. And the last card on his hand is just basically Scareclaw Kashtira, which we can also negate from the effect of Appaloosa. So that's it. That is all, that's basically it. And he just ended his turn there, allowing us to end the game. So go for attack. And that is the game, guys. Let's go back to the outro. Alright, ladies and gents, and those were the replays, and that is the deck profile for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this kind of content. Like and subscribe for more contents like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.